East Coast Pete with you. Another edition of my Midrock Crisis. Today we're going to talk about Steve Marriott. From London, Steve Marriott, singer, songwriter, vocalist, and guitarist for early Britpop band The Small Faces, and the ballsier Humble Pie later on. Stephen Peter Marriott was born in 1947. He became a member of The Small Faces and was with them from 65 to 69 and again in 77 to 78. He also played and sang for two separate stints with Humble Pie, 70 to 78 and again in 80 to 81. Influenced by Buddy Holly, Booker T, Ray Charles, and Muddy Waters, he is remembered as a proponent of the mod fashion trend of swinging London in the 1960s. Small Faces and The Who were mod bands. Ozzy Osbourne once observed that Steve Marriott was the fourth best singer of all time. Steve Perry of Journey, no slouch in the singing department, also named Marriott as a favorite. Steve's parents were in showbiz. His mom, an actress, and his dad, a pop pianist. Stephen was exposed to both music and acting at an early age. His first band, The Wheels, formed when he was only 12. Steve would wear Buddy Holly glasses without lenses when he performed with his band. He was remembered as a precocious youth, hyperactive, given to mischief. He was the Artful Dodger from the play Oliver, a part he played for a year professionally. But when he turned 13, he figured he'd had enough of acting, so he returned to his first choice, which was music. In 1963, he wrote his first song, Imaginary Love. He offered it to a record company until he had a deal with Decca. His band is now called Marriott and the Moments. They opened for another Decca artist, including Animals, Georgia Fame and Blue Flames, and John Mayall. In 1964, the Moments played 80 gigs. Marriott was noticed by faces Ronnie Lane and Kenny Jones. Face is a mod term. It means a good mod, a noteworthy person. Small Faces hired him to play harmonica, and they'd cover James Brown songs. Marriott would tack on extended guitar breaks. What You Gonna Do About It was a local hit for the Small Faces, and the band had a mod cult following. Small Faces also covered Muddy Waters' You Need Lovin' as part of their set. A young fan in the audience, named Robert Plant, heard Marriott's soulful rendition and soon wrote the words to Whole Lotta Love, which would appear, of course, on Led Zeppelin's second album. With his band's success, he was able to rent a flat downtown. It soon became Party Central, hosting entertainers such as Marion Faithfull, Brian Epstein, and Pete Townsend. Marriott now wrote most of the band's hits, including All for Nothing, Itchy Park, and Tin Soldier. This is a song he penned to woo a certain Jenny Reliance, who had caught his eye. Problem was, she was dating Rod Stewart at the time. Later, when she and Rod separated, Steve married her. In 1967, Andrew Loog Oldham, manager of the Rolling Stones, took over the Small Faces. With his promotion, Itchy Park became a breakaway hit, and Small Faces' future was secure. Marriott thought the Small Faces needed help in the guitar department, though, and he asked his friend Peter Frampton of the Herd to join. The other Small Faces objected, since they had achieved record success with From the Beginning and two self-named albums. Marriott would then leave the Small Faces and put together Humble Pie with Frampton. To replace Marriott, Small Faces contracted with Rod Stewart, who brought in Ron Wood. They'd been with the Jeff Beck Group. The musicians in this circle would go on into vast fame with the Rolling Stones, Humble Pie, the Faces, and the smash solo careers of Rod Stewart and Peter Frampton. Marriott briefly rejoined the Small Faces in '77, but 2 new albums failed to chart. Humble Pie's third album, the one with the Aubrey Beardsley pen and ink drawing of Salome on the cover, saw Frampton chomping at the bit. Brings to mind Frampton's camel a little bit. The first song sounded like Dark Side of the Moon. The next was a lovely Frampton ballad. Next, a Carney pub song. Next, a blues rocker. Next, a rural pastoral theme, and many of the songs tracked way too long for radio play. Steve stayed with Humble Pie after Frampton left. And sadly, Steve Marriott died in a fire at his home in 1991. He was 47. Here's some of the songs. This is with Frampton: Desperation, Stick Shift, Buttermilk Boy. This is Humble Pie without Frampton's. The album Smokin', Eat It, Humble Pie, Eat It, you know. Thunderbox. In 1980, On to Victory. In '81, Go for the Throat. Here's some notable songs of Steve's from the '70s. I Walk on Gilded Splinters, I Don't Need No Doctor, 4-Day Creep, Black Coffee, and Don't Worry, Be Happy. 1969, the Town and Country album had Take Me Back, A Sad Bag of Shaky Jake, The Light of Love, and Cold Lady. '71, the Humble Pie, this is the Beardsley sleeve art album, Live With Me, Only a Roach, One-Eyed Trouser Snake, Earth and Water Song, Theme from Skint. 1971, from Rock On, Shine On, Sour Grain, 79th and Sunset, and Stone Cold Fever. Now, Steve was Peter Frampton's best friend. But if it weren't for Peter Frampton, I might not know too much about Steve Marriott. This is something that has to be dealt with very delicately. And even to this day, Peter Frampton chokes up when he talks about Steve. He's an amazing man. That's it for today. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you all sometime soon.